Hi, folks, this is your MWIS fleeting view for the week ahead. Storm Amy is clearing away to our east, and behind it, we are going to see a week where high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north are battling it out for dominance. This is going to establish westerly winds, typically means a bit more cloud and wet weather in western areas, but there are some little details that will occur throughout the week. So let's look at the detail. The story starts on Monday morning with high pressure actually quite dominant across the British Isles. We are now squarely in the warmer and humid sector of our frontal structure. These are our fronts in the north. But what this does mean is that this west-southwesterly wind is bringing quite humid air to the British Isles. And this means fairly extensive cloud across the mountains of Scotland, northwest England, and western parts of Wales as well. Those mountains will likely be well shrouded most of the day on Monday. As we move this forward, we can expect those eastern areas to be decently clear, some spells of drizzle onto western coasts, and particularly over Scottish tops. I suspect it will be drizzly most of the day here. Into the afternoon, though, a new frontal structure is actually coming right into Scotland's west coast, and this is going to bring persistent rain for much of the afternoon in western parts, some spells reaching the southern uplands as well, mostly dry in England and Wales, but again, in those western slopes, higher slopes of the Lake District and Snowdonia, I suspect there will be some drizzle. More clear to the east, there may be some clear tops along the Pennines and easternmost Scotland, but even that, likely through the day, will tend to get shrouded over as we go. It is under a warmer mass of air, though. I wouldn't call these temperatures warm, especially under the cloud, but it will be more pleasant than we've had in previous days, at least in the southern areas where the winds are not as strong. There will still be some quite powerful winds with very powerful gusts from the Lake District and northward into Scotland, with a risk of some gales over northwest Scotland. It's going to be a wet and cloudy night in northwest Scotland, some of these spells of rain pushing east as we go, and as we get into Tuesday, a more organized frontal structure is starting to build, and by dawn, most of Scotland's west coast and mountains are under a veil of cloud and rain, this cloud extending over to the southern uplands. Under the high pressure, some of that cloud is broken, and possibly some local fog patches will form in those areas further south, like the Pennines and Wales, likely breaking once the sun comes out, but as this frontal band slips from the northwest to the southeast, a veil of high cloud will start to block the sun for just about everyone, and rain is going to progressively slip to the south as the day goes. Behind it, there will be actually some decent clearing of the mountains in the west of Scotland. It looks like the Cairngorms, southeast Highlands, those will probably be rainy and cloudy well into the day, but winds will ease with bright spells behind it and then a few showers onto the west coast. Rain really only reaching the Pennines and Wales as we get into the later hours of the day and into evening. Lake District looks like that gets the rain as the afternoon gets going. Southern Wales probably dry, but that cloud's starting to build as that front comes in. The day itself is going to feel cool to mild for most, especially with some easing winds, but later in the day and particularly after dark, expect some really chilly temperatures following behind this cold front. Scotland, by the time we get into the nighttime hours, most areas will be quite chilly. This front continues its southeasterly trek overnight. In the far north, northwest Scotland and the West Highlands, showers will continue to hit these mountains, some slipping inland, and into Wednesday, a new frontal boundary is coming in, yet another spell of rain for the Northwest Highlands, some of that slipping east over the Cairngorms into the southeast Highlands. Quite cloudy on those west coasts, more broken with bases further to the east, particularly southern uplands and further south, where there very well could be breaks for clear summits. But this frontal boundary in the north is going to be a cloudy one, and some of that will be dragged south. So perhaps just some broken tops of Lakeland and the southern uplands. Better chance definitely over the Pennines and Wales, particularly as the day goes under this high pressure. Winds will return strong in the north. We may see some gale force winds or possibly severe gusty gales over the highest tops in the north. Most it will just be a brisk wind, but then England and Wales, really light winds, especially later in the day in Wales. Temperatures will still be on the cool side, but recovering from the prior days. We're expecting highs of around 5 to, I would say, 8 degrees on those slopes from about 700 to 900 meters. Tops in Scotland feeling quite a bit colder in the wind chill, but the actual air temperature on the cool to mild spectrum. The good news arrives overnight Wednesday into Thursday. There is still some cloud and patchy rain into western Scotland, but notice this high pressure core starting to build southwest of Ireland on Thursday, and that just continues to build into the day. Scotland is still open to that west southwesterly Atlantic, so there will be drizzly rain onto those westernmost hills. Tops may struggle to clear. Cairngorm tops, especially in eastern areas, Deeside and Glenshee, those will be some clearer tops. Much better clearance in southern Scotland, England, and Wales. I don't want to promise the most clear of tops among the highest mountains, but cloud will be well broken, particularly in eastern areas. Winds will be lower for most, only the northernmost parts of Scotland still being affected by winds that could impede your walking. And the temperatures are going to be quite mild for all, maybe even pleasant in England and Wales, where there will be sunny spells. Quite regionally variable and changeable through the week. As always, all the details can be found on our website and our socials. That's the story for now. Thank you, as always, for watching.